What's up, guys? It's Ja Lord. Today I would like to talk to you about an important issue that's been in the news lately. I'm talking, of course, about these protests that have erupted in Iran since the end of December, and I would like to share with you my thoughts about them. As many of you know, since the end of December there have been waves of massive protests in the Islamic Republic of Iran, and you want to know what started all of it? The price of eggs. Apparently, there was a big bird flu outbreak in Iran in 2017, and they had to kill off millions of chickens to prevent it from spreading. And this caused the price of eggs to skyrocket, and people got really, really pissed. But since then, the protests have turned from protesting against the high price of eggs to protesting the presidency of Hassan Rouhani and the regime in general, as he has backtracked on a lot of his campaign promises apparently, except for the nuclear deal with the West. And the economy there has been in the toilet, and the poor and working classes haven't really noticed much of a difference since Hassan Rouhani took office. And also this year, Hassan Rouhani apparently released a annual budget, which includes giving loads of money to the hardline Iranian religious establishment, and doing a lot of cutting subsidies, certain programs, and privatizing schools, which is making the average working class citizen over there even more upset. But I am worried about these protests though, because they already have the support of the United States government and the Trump administration. And combine that with the fact that Iran is sitting on top of a shit ton of oil, and the fact that the regime is not friendly to Israel, and it's certainly not friendly to the United States. And this reminds me of Syria in 2011. So I have a feeling that this might turn into another war for profit. However, only time will tell with these protests, as they've happened before and throughout the country's history, and the U.S. hadn't gotten involved. However, I am genuinely worried because I've seen this situation before in Syria in 2011. I was still a teenager when that was happening, and I was taking honors government in high school when the Syrian war started. And I'm seeing the same. I'm genuinely worried because the Syrian regime was another regime that was not friendly to Israel, was treating its citizens like shit, and had shit tons of oil underneath it. And when their people started revolting, the U.S. immediately got involved and armed the so-called moderate opposition. But since then, the opposition's been taken over by groups like Al-Qaeda, ISIS, and their affiliates. And I am genuinely worried about the same thing happening in Iran, because since these protests already have the support of the U.S., and like I said before, the regime is anti-Israel, anti-America, and they're sitting on top of a shit ton of oil. And there was also the same thing in Libya when their government was doing stuff like this, and the protests started, and the U.S. got involved, and now Libya is like a collapsed state with with like terror groups running around the country and no functioning government. So please bear in mind, however, that what I have said in this video, aside from stating the facts about the protests and the in Iran and like the regime and their oil, other than that, it's just like it's pure speculation at this point, so please be aware of that. Only time will tell where these protests go, but my speculation is based on like what has happened in previous countries with similar conditions and protests that have gotten the support of the United States government. So this is all speculation is what I'm saying. Where they're gonna go from here. Well, that is it for today, folks. I have shared with you my thoughts on the current protests going on in Iran, and hopefully I'll have more videos out in the next few weeks. And that is it, folks. Peace.